Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to give you an overview of a maps tour of Wheaton, Illinois. Wheaton, Illinois has a lot to offer and is really close to Chicago, which Chicago has a ton to offer. Make sure you stick through because I'm going to give you some great pointers. I'm going to help you out if you're looking to move out here or if you're even curious about checking it out just for fun. My name is Kenny Naslund. I'm a real estate agent here in Wheaton and the surrounding area. If you ever need any help moving out here, any questions, let me know. All my information is in the description below. All right, so we're diving into the map tour of Wheaton, Illinois. So Wheaton, just kind of give you a frame of reference. As we look right over here on the map, you're going to see the outline of it. This area is about 11.5 miles squared. So it's a pretty decent area. It has a population of nearly 53,000 people. And it was founded back in the early to mid 1800s. Now Wheaton has a lot to offer, from restaurants to school district to commute to the city to proximity to the airport, and shopping, and we're going to get into all of that. So now looking at Wheaton, I'm going to zoom out a little bit to kind of give you some information here. Now as we look at Wheaton and how close it is to the city, it's not too bad. Here's Wheaton, and then all the way here's Chicago. Now this commute right here is going to be 29 miles, about 35 minutes on a really good day, probably 45 minutes, an hour, maybe an hour 15 or 20 if the traffic is really bad. If you're commuting day to day to work or vice versa, right? Coming in from the city into the suburbs. Don't want to take your car? Don't worry about it. We have options for you. If you zoom, we zoom back in. Now over here, you're going to see some train tracks as I zoom in. I'll pull in. Here's the train tracks. This is called the Union Pacific West Line. This will take you all the way to Elburn from Chicago, but in between, we got two stops in Wheaton. First of all, it's College Avenue. And then over here, we have Wheaton. This is Wheaton proper. This is a downtown area, which if you want to get off here, and this is where the fun happens. Anyway, you got two train stops in Wheaton. As I zoom out, you are able to see how far it goes. This is a pretty far suburb, Elburn. Wheaton's kind of in between, 30 miles from Chicago almost, as I mentioned, 29 miles. Door to door on an express. Actually, it's a semi-express because they only have a few stops. It's going to take you about 35, maybe 40 minutes in the morning, and same in the evening. And if you end up missing the express, there's the local. The local will take you about 60 minutes door to door, and it will take you, we zoom right into here, a little bit east of the West Loop. West Loop is kind of a hopping, fun area. It's a hip environment. We'll get into that in another video. But as you can see, it is very centrally located. Right here, you may see these lines. This is called the Loop in Chicago because literally all the subway lines loop around and zip out of the city. If you're not from Chicago, you may hear it's called the L. The L stands for elevated trains. So if anybody says, hey, did you get on the L? Or the L's going this way or that way, now you know. So as we zoom out, this kind of gives you an idea of how to get in and out of the city without having to drive and spending that time in traffic. So you're kind of centrally located between two airports. You have O'Hare and then you have Midway. One is 29 miles away, which is O'Hare, and then 31 miles for Midway. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and kind of give you an idea distance-wise. Okay, New Wheaton over here, there's O'Hare. This is the international airport. Now Midway is the other airport, which is also an international airport, but it is a little bit smaller. This airport basically handles international flights, kind of coming from the Caribbean area. It's not as massive as O'Hare. And honestly, if you look at the size, I mean, let's look right over here. We have this teeny tiny area, and then we have this massive area over here. O'Hare takes the cake. Between these two and here, we're talking about 29 miles and then 31 miles over here. So you're pretty close. Personally, if I'm flying in domestically, I prefer Midway because it it's such a small airport. You're in, you're out. It's quick and easy. Oh, here you can wait in line. Sometimes you get in there, there's no line. Sometimes you're waiting in line for an hour just to get through security. It can be a pain, but to each their own. That's just my preference and my opinion. And going into the city over here, you're also about 30 miles away. So location wise, I would have to say Wheaton is pretty centrally located, wherever you're gonna go. You're about 40 minutes away from anywhere you want to be, whether either airport or downtown Chicago. Now, Wheaton has great parks, and I'm going to pull it up right here. All right, Wheaton has a lot of great parks. So I just pulled it up. Let's take a look. As we zoom in, I'm going to circle it right here for you guys. Look at all of those parks. Here. There's a lot of places you can walk. There's a lot of places you can check out. I mean, it's filled with parks. I mean, for being 11.5 miles squared, basically, you have a lot of area where you can walk around, have a great time for your kids to play and have a good time. Also, one of the popular parks I will say is Northside Park right over here. This park over here, you see, have water all around. It has this walk path that you can go through, and then this particular area right here is great for kids. It's great for them to play. I'm going to pull up the pictures right now for you so you can check it out. I'm going to give you an idea of what it looks like. There's another angle of the park itself for kids to play. And back over here, which you can't see, there's a zip line, which kids always love to go on. It's a great park. No shortage of parks and walking area in Wheaton. Outside of just that, I'm going back to the map. I'm going to take you right kind of in the center of Wheaton. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right, right over here, this area right over here, I will call it the downtown area. This particular park over here is Adams Park. John Adams, the second president of the United States, had his house here. It's kind of neat. This little center area, there's a water fountain, which was literally right by his house. It's pretty darn cool to check out the history. I also made a walking vlog tour of Wheaton, and this is part of this tour. So if you want to know more about it, make sure to check out that video. Now, as I zoom in, I have to say during the summer months, which is kind of cool, from May through October, Hill Street right over here, they close it off. They put barricades, they put these tents up for people to hang out, to have dinner, to have lunch. They put chairs, they put tables out. They have all these beautiful lights where you can just have a good time, enjoy the city of Wheaton. It's one of my favorite things to do when it's nice and warm out. Even if it's blistering hot, you have the tents. You don't have to worry about the heat. It's a really, really neat area. Now, another thing about Wheaton is the school districts. Now, according to niche.com, Wheaton is rated A+ overall for elementary, middle, and high school, kind of in a combination of all three of them. Additionally, it is rated number 17 in Illinois. So District 200 in Wheaton is a very desirable area. Outside of that, we have a couple of things I want you to check out. We have Cosley Zoo, and we have Wheaton College, and then you have this golf club. All right, so for being 11.5 miles squared, it packs a lot of stuff for you. I'm going to zoom into each one. Now, as we check out Cosley Zoo, it's not a big zoo, so you don't have to worry about it. That's going to be overwhelming. If you want a really big zoo, you want to go to Brookfield Zoo. This zoo it won't take you more than a couple of hours, if that, to go through it. It's great for adults. It's great for kids. It's more geared towards kids. If you're asking my opinion, here we got some llamas. They have some other animals throughout. Of course, the Christmas show that they do. As you can see, yeah, sheep. We had some cow, raccoons, some pigs. It's neat. It's a little fun park. Kids can kind of get a little bit more closer to animals, and everything's not so far away, and they're pushed away from it. So it's a really fun area and a fun place to take your children. Now, I'm gonna zoom right over here into Wheaton College. Now, Wheaton College, I would say, is a beautiful place. I love historical buildings. Always have. I've lived in Europe, so I really appreciate all the hard work that people put into putting these buildings together. Take a look at that architecture. It's amazing. It's close to downtown Wheaton. You literally can walk to the Hale Street area that I mentioned. In Hale Street, one thing I forgot to mention, it's full of restaurants. It has nightlife there. It has shops. It's a fun place to be, whether it's Hale Street or the surrounding area. You have a theater as well too. You also have improv shows. It's pretty packed. I mean, it has a lot to offer, Wheaton. It's a really fun area. And this is a few pictures of Wheaton College itself. All right, another area I want to take you to is the Wheaton Farmers Market during the summer months. So right over here, right by Adams Park, right? So we're close to downtown. You're by the train stations. You literally can walk over if you took the train or if you live in the downtown area. Wheaton's a pretty fun place being a suburb. There's a lot to do. And you also have the Wheaton Public Library, which is a pretty massive library. You find everything under the sun. I also check that place out quite frequently. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, let's check out the French market. So for a few months out of the year, when it's not overly cold, you get this wonderful market that has a plethora of different things. They have from pastries to food to vegetables, you name it. This is one of my favorite places. I like to go and shop around here. Now, for a while, they actually had these dinosaurs put up, and it was pretty fun. Kids really got a kick out of it. They moved around, they made sounds. It was kind of a neat little fun thing that it did, but that's no longer available. And some of the vendors, just to kind of give you a picture and idea of how it looks. Look at those tomatoes. Those are really good tomatoes, right? Now, I will have to say, it happens every Saturday, only for a few hours. So if you're in the area, make sure you stop by, check them out. One of my favorite places that hasn't shown up here on the photo is Rustic. Rustic has delicious foods that are pre-made. It used to be by a chef that has retired and no longer has his restaurant. There's a parking garage really close by, so you don't have to worry about it. It's right on Cross Street, right over here. You can park, you can walk right over. It's a great day. There's a Dairy Queen close by, about right over here. If you want some ice cream, it's a hot day. Now, one other area I'm going to dive into is Danada Square. Danada Square, it's the southern part of Wheaton. So as you can see, it's pretty far in comparison to the train area, right? And then even further from this area. So Wheaton kind of is around here. Remember, if you may, and it goes around here. So this is the most kind of southern tip of Wheaton. And then after that, you dive right into Naperville. Now, if I zoom in, you'll see it's called Naperville Road. Naperville is this town over here, which is massive. This downtown is probably 2 or 3 times bigger than Wheaton, but It's also a fun area to check out. It's really close to the city, about the same proximity. We'll do that in another video. Just want to kind of give you an idea, because Wheaton is really close to a lot of towns that you can see. Carroll Stream, Glendale Heights, Villa Park, Lombard, Glen Ellen, etc. But getting back to where I was talking about, which is the southern part of Wheaton, we have this shopping area. It's called Danada Square. Danada Square has a lot of shops and a lot of places to offer. Now this road splits kind of the east from the west, and you have shops on both sides. I'm gonna zoom in, as everyone is probably familiar with Whole Foods. I want to kind of give you a street view right over here. Yep. Excuse me, but I really give you a street view, right? So here we go. All right, this is perfect. So this kind of gives you both sides of the street. So as I had mentioned, if you're looking this way, over here where Starbucks is, that's the east side. And then over here is the west side. And now we're gonna go into the street as if we're driving. I'm gonna take it down, cut through the parking lot, and here you go. Got Whole Foods, got a ton of different shops. I mean, literally, look, we have shops all over the place. Now, over here, which a lot of people are excited about, this place has turned into Nordstrom Rack. It's due to open the end of May. Now I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to take you across the other side of the parking lot. So you can see there's that Starbucks that I circled earlier, right? Now we're going to cross the street. Now over here, we have a lot of shops. As you can see, if you're not familiar with Illinois, at least in this region close to Chicago, this is DuPage County, and Chicago's in Cook County, you're gonna find a lot of brick. There's brick all over the place. This store right here, outside of Whole Foods, which we passed by, this is a staple in Illinois. You're gonna see jewel everywhere. This grocery store is not high-end. They have groceries like any other store. Maybe you're used to Publix or Albertsons, or maybe Stop and Shop, depending where you're from. That's one of those stores. So it's not high-end, but it is a staple in the area. Lots of shops, as you can see. Home goods, this one's particularly popular around this area too, just because it's part of the shopping center. And the stores go on and on. I'm not going to bore you with that. So let's get out of there and go back to our maps tour. As I mentioned earlier, you have a golf course. If that's something you enjoy, I'll show you a few photos. Now, golf has been a sport that I like, but I am really horrible at. So two main roads that cut through Wheaton and other towns, 38, 64. So this is Roosevelt and this is North Avenue. Both of them will take you into the city. If you follow them, if I back out a little bit, you literally can see they go east and west. This does continue, but then it becomes more local. As you see it thins out over here, right? So we're going right through here. They basically both take you downtown Chicago. These two roads have a ton of stores. They have a ton of shops. No matter where you are, you can always find whatever you want. Put it right over here. Let me zoom in a little bit just to kind of give you an idea. Now I'll say the one thing about Roosevelt that is different than North Avenue is that North Avenue, you see a lot of semi trucks on it, where on Roosevelt you don't see that at all. Kind of trying to take you through here quickly. There's a lot of stores, a lot of shops. There's a church that you saw. As you kind of get further east into Wheaton through Glen Ellen, you'll notice a lot more shops popping up. This area is actually still under construction, so it has not been built. There's restaurants. This one right over here. So is a diner. And then you have tire places, you have car washes, you have breakfast food, there's gas stations, there's a ton of it. So Roosevelt Avenue is a big main road outside of kind of that little downtown of Wheaton that has all the restaurants and nightlife and what have you. This is not light nightlife-esque, but it's more kind of business district, restaurants, food, shops, and what have you. I'll kind of give you a quick look at North Avenue. It's a little bit busier highway. You can see it has more lanes, 3 on each side, kind of a little bit more industrial, but it gets you into the city, has a lot of shops. As you can see, there's bigger trucks, or trucks like these, like the UPS trucks. You don't see that on Roosevelt. So it just kind of depends. Some people don't like that. Some people don't mind it. It really depends on what your preference is. If you want to avoid the highway altogether, it's a great way to get into the city without having to worry about getting onto the highway. As you can see, you can literally go from Wheaton all the way to the city here or right there. So to give you an idea of affordability in Wheaton, I pulled up most recent sales around here. Wheaton, you get prices anywhere from $300,000 up to nearly $2 million. And from this search right here that I pulled up for you, and it's very, very recent sold properties. We had 41 properties that sold around this area. The lowest price one is $300,000, and actually it just has one photo, so I don't necessarily know how the inside is, but I'm going to move you to the next one. $341,000. This is kind of what that money will get you. It's actually a nice space, right? There's a lot of furniture in there. You have some updated appliances, but you can move in and use it. You have a basement, which is fantastic, and a great spacious backyard. This has 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,144 square feet. That square footage does not include the basement. Now to kind of move into different price points, I'm going to pull something up maybe in the 500s to kind of give you an idea of what that's going to look like versus the 300s. Let's take a look at this property, a little bit bigger. Actually, I like that wooden staircase. It is very pretty. And that glass over here, I like that a lot. Anyway, moving on from my opinions. The kitchen has a charm to it. This is something you don't find right over here. That's not very common, right? That's kind of old school right there. Has a nice workspace. There's a lot of woodwork in here. That is a huge stove. You can cook for days over here. Anyway, I digress. So this property, 3 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and a half bath, 2,000 square feet. It's a massive property compared to the other one, and that's for $500,000. And we can keep going. We can go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a million, 1.9 million. So Wheaton offers a lot across the spectrum. In terms of properties that have recently sold, you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. I do want to show you additionally the market where it's at right now. So in terms of the average sales price, an average sale price in Wheaton for a house right now is $488,000 and change. So almost $489,000. The median price is $426,000, up from last year by 6.8%. This kind of gives you the price points up and down over the years from 2008. Real estate is seasonal, so you'll always see an up and down dip. People typically buy in the, I'd say, spring and summer months, and as summer ends and fall begins and winter, it starts tapering off. So you'll always see a dip. but prices have continuously spiked up because inventory extremely low. If I show you months supply of inventory, we have less than 1 month of inventory. Essentially, what that means that if no properties came on the market, it would take about 3 weeks to sell all of them, and we would be done. So it's still in the favor of the seller. Buyers are still trying to buy properties out here, and it's a bit of a competition going on. Now, to kind of give you an idea about pricing wise, the last list price, so not even the original list price, but the last list price. So if they took a price reduction, sellers are getting right now 100% on the median side of it and 101.6% on the average price point. So essentially that they're getting above the last ask, or even let's take a look at the original, same thing. They're getting 101%. So literally above the asking price itself, and the median right at 100%. So essentially whatever sellers are asking in terms of being reasonable in terms of the price and not being astronomical about where the market is, that's really what prices are yielding is in this market if you're actually thinking of moving to Wheaton and wanting to buy outside of renting. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know your comments below. Happy to answer any questions you have about Wheaton or the surrounding areas. My name is Kenny. I'm a real estate agent that's serving Wheaton, Illinois, and the surrounding areas, including Chicago. If you've gotten any value out of this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Lets me know that I'm making valuable content for you, and let me know what content I can make for you that will be helpful. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.